Going on, guys? I don't usually post two videos a day, but today I have a video that I have to post, and then I have one that's going to come out tomorrow, hopefully before the NFL game starts. But today we're going to be doing my top 10 team before the regular season starting in week one. And I think that this list is fairly obvious, or at least there's like some sort of obviousness about it, and I think it's pretty easy. So let's just jump right into it. Starting off at number 10, I have the Denver Broncos. I think that they had a huge win this offseason. I think that the Russell Wilson signing and trade was great. The extension that they have for him is great. I think pretty much everything that they have set up right now is going to make this team a playoff contender. That being said, I'm not sure if they will end up being a playoff contender based on what their division is. Their division is just rough. As you'll see, I have, spoiler, 3 out of the 4 teams on this list. But yeah, losing Tim Patrick was kind of a rough blow, and I'm feeling bad for the Broncos, but I think that they are easily the top 10 best team. Coming in at number 9, I have the Philadelphia Eagles, who at first I thought it was the Ravens that won the offseason, but after a little bit of thinking, it is officially the Eagles. They just traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They have all kinds of weapons for Jalen Hurts, including Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Their run game leaves a little bit for me to be desired, but they also have an amazing defense with Nakobe Dean, who, if he stays healthy, is going to be an absolute stud. Jordan Davis, who looked awesome in the preseason. Yeah, I think that the Eagles are going to be fantastic. It just comes down at the end of the day to, is Jalen Hurts going to be the guy? For me, I'm not so sure, but I like him, and I think that he could do really well on this team. And I think that the Eagles could win in the future. Moving on to number 8, we have the LA Chargers. I think that the Chargers are one of the best teams in the league. Their roster is one of the most complete rosters I've ever seen. They just signed Mike Williams to a huge deal. They still have Keenan Allen. They still have all kinds of talent on there. I think that the only way that the Chargers don't make the playoffs is if they mess up. Like, at this point, they should have made it last year. They had it set up perfectly. All they had to do was go for a tie, and then they charged it out. So, yeah, I think that the Chargers are going to be fantastic. I think Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. Debatably top 3. I believe I placed him in my top 3. I think he's one of the best QBs in the league, and I think with Austin Eckler and all kinds of help, including getting Khalil Mack on the defense to help Joey Bosa out a bit, and to help J.C. Jackson to help that secondary, I think that the Chargers are fantastic. Coming in at number 7 on my list, we have the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is one of the most underrated and overhated players in the league. I think that with just Mark Andrews alone, their wide receiver core is fine. I think Rashad Bateman is going to pop off this year. Plus, their run game is going to be amazing. I think that people are really, really, really overshadowing the Ravens, and I think that the Ravens are going to shock some people a lot this year. And yeah, they come in at number 6 for me. Their defense is also really good. They have an aging front 7, but I think that overall this team is going to shock some people a lot, as I have already mentioned. Moving on to number 6, I have my final AFC West team. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league still, even though I'm not super high on them this year with the loss of Tyreek Hill and everyone. I think that they're still a pretty high team, and I do like where they are. I would like to see a couple of teams, or a couple positions, be a little bit better. Their offensive line is super good. Patrick Mahomes is still amazing. Their run game is a little lackluster for me, and I'm curious as to how their receivers will play. I'm a huge Juju fan. I have his jersey, and I'm very, very excited to see how he does this season. But I just have a couple of things that I am curious about. So for me, they barely aren't in the top 5, but I'm going to keep them at number 6. Moving on to number 5, I have... It's really, really hard for me to pick between two teams, but I'm going to give the slight edge, I think, to the Cincinnati Bengals. I love the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're a wonderful team. Well, okay, I shouldn't say I love them because they're a division rival. I can't stand them. But I think that they're just a great team, and they have all kinds of potential. And I don't know. I'm a little bit worried that they won't be as good this year. Yeah, and I would love to see them be a better team and do great, but I just am a little worried for them. That being said, they did make the Super Bowl last year, so I have to include them on this list. I feel like it would be wrong not to. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are a wonderful connection, probably going to be one of the best connections of quarterback wide receiver that we see ever for the next couple of years. And yeah, that being said, I'm going to keep them at number 5. Moving on to number 4, I have the Green Bay Packers. And the reason why I have the Green Bay Packers here and not a different team would be because I think that the Green Bay Packers are still going to be one of the best teams in the league. Their defense looks amazing. They have the best middle linebacking core, I would say, they've had in forever. They have a fantastic offense led by Aaron Rodgers, who I think is going to have a little bit of a lackluster year this year with new receivers, but I think that he's still a top 2 quarterback. I think he's just a fantastic player, and he's going to help lead this team. Not to mention they have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and I think that those two together are going to be some of the best running backs in the league. I think they're going to be amazing. I think Aaron Jones is going to show why he's such a versatile weapon and important to the team. And I think that people are going to be shocked by the Packers this year. And yeah, I have the Green Bay Packers at number 4. Moving on to number 3, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If there's one thing I've learned, as much as I hate the dude, can't stand him, I'm not going to have doubt Tom Brady. I'm not going to have any doubts on him. I'm tired of doubting him. Every time I doubt him, he comes back better than ever, and yeah. So I'm going to have the Buccaneers here. Their defense, fantastic. One of the best defenses in the league. Their offense, yes, they lost Antonio Brown, but they gained him back with a Julio Jones. I think that this team is going to be awesome. Their running game is all right. Leonard Fournette usually only shows up in big moments when it's important for him. But yeah, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They don't have Gronk anymore because he retired. They don't have O.J. Howard anymore, so their tight end room is a little weak. I think it's just Cameron Brate, if I remember correctly. Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Mike Vaughn. They don't have Rojo anymore, but I just think that this team is going to be very, very, very good. And I even mentioned all of the defensive players that they have. They have Vita Vea still. They have Tryon Shoyinka, John Murphy Bunting. There's so many players that I can't even think of everyone off the top of my head. And I just think that they're going to be really good. The only reason I don't have them at number 2 or number 1 is because I'm a little bit concerned about their offensive line. They just had a player who, I don't remember which one it was, but he just he's done for the rest of the year with a broken knee or something like that. Could totally be wrong, but whatever it is, I just am a little worried. Moving on to number 2, I have the LA Rams. They're the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, and I just do not think that the LA Rams are going to be as good as they were last year. I think they'll still be playoff contenders. I think they've guaranteed a spot in the playoffs because the NFC West is just wild right now. I think that they're going to be a wonderful team. I just don't think that they're going to be nearly as good. Could they make the Super Bowl and repeat? Totally possible. I just don't see it. They have the best defensive player, if not the best NFL player in the league, in Aaron Donald. They have a good run game. They have Matthew Stafford, who was fantastic last season and is one of my top 10 quarterbacks. They have Cooper Kupp, the reigning defending NFL and Offensive Player of the Year and NFL MVP, if I remember correctly. That team is awesome. They don't have a Von Miller anymore, who is on a different team that I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, I think that this team has the potential to repeat. I just don't know if they're going to, but I have to give the Rams the respect that they deserve, and they come in at number 2 for me. Now, before I mention my number 1 team, I just want to mention 3 teams that barely didn't make the cut for me. It's going to be the Raiders, just because I don't think that they will be as good this year because their offensive line is in shambles. It is actually one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and it's going to be awful. That's literally it. 49ers. It's just because I don't know what Trey Lance is, and that's literally it. I don't want to put too much confidence in him, and then he sucks. Finally, I have the Saints. I think that the Saints are going to be an amazing team this year. For sure, they're going to probably make the playoffs. To the Saints, I think that the Saints are going to be really good. Jameis Winston is super, super, super underrated for me. I think that he's awesome. I think that last year they used practice squad wide receivers and almost made the playoffs. Their defense is one of the best in the league. They have Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara in the backfield, and I just am very, very excited to watch them. Plus, they have one of my favorite players in the league in Taysom Hill, who's a great tight end / quarterback. Yes, he had a bunch of mistakes and can't be a starting caliber quarterback, but he's a great player for me as a gadget player. But coming in at number 1, I think it's obvious if you've watched any NFL news or anything NFL related over the last couple of weeks, we have the Buffalo Bills. This team is one of the teams that I've been the most confident in the last 2 years to win a Super Bowl, and the only reason they haven't was they just get in their heads. Last year, they couldn't play defense for 13 seconds, and they addressed it. And then they lost the coin toss, which sucks, and costed them an AFC Championship game appearance, but they didn't let that stop them. They're now addressed it, and their defense was #1 in the league last year, added Von Miller and Kaiir Elam. And not to mention all the weapons that they added for Josh Allen in James Cook and Shaquille Shakur. I have so much confidence in this team. They have Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, who's one of the best receivers in the league. They have Dawson Knox, who just got a huge extension as of me recording this episode. I just have so much confidence. I don't know if they'll win tomorrow. I picked the Rams to win tomorrow. Because I'm recording this on Wednesday and gonna upload it as soon as it gets recorded and edited. But anyways, yeah, I just think that this team is gonna be amazing. If they don't win a Super Bowl within the next 5 years, I will be so upset and so sad, because I think that this team is one of the best teams and best coached teams in the league, and they just have all the potential in the world. And yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be all I got for the video today, this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take it easy.